Hey, welcome back to the channel, y'all. Today I'm going to be going over Power Service diesel fuel supplement, the Winterize anti-gel, and the Power Service diesel 911. It's winter time, so a lot of y'all, if you're like me, we get cold temperatures, but we normally don't get like we've got this week. Maybe once or twice a year it gets as cold as it has been. It's like 2 degrees right now. Outside, I'm in my garage. In here it's like 40. So I'll tell you a little bit about what happened. Saturday, I went to go run some errands and do a couple things. I jumped in my truck and got out of the neighborhood and just had no power. There was no power going on. My fuel rail pressure was only getting up to like 8,000, 9,000 PSI at best. And eventually, a couple miles down the road, truck died on me. Well, first it went into limp mode, and then as I pulled into a parking lot, it died on me. And on my Edge Insight, I pulled up the diagnostics and looked at the trouble codes, and it was throwing a fuel rail pressure low fuel rail pressure, and also a massive fuel loss code, which I knew I wasn't leaking any diesel or anything, so I was like, oh, it's gelling. Kind of thought that the service station where I get fuel at ran some sort of additive in there for Winterize, and they probably do, it just not down at this level. So limped it back home, pulled it up in my garage. I normally keep it outside, but I pulled it in my garage and let it warm up, and ran over to Napa. And I bought some of the fuel supplement, the Winterize anti-gel, and I bought some of the diesel 911. Brought it home, drained my fuel water separator, and there was a little bit of gelling. I mean, for the most part, it was like a little glump fell out. Came out first, and then just diesel came out beyond that. So I had a little bit, it's probably more ice going on inside of the fuel water separator from the water. And so I poured the recommended amount, and it tells you on here, which is kind of weird, it says treats up to 100 gallons, but on the back it tells you, let's see here, it's like add entire contents, which is 28 ounces to 60 gallons. So it's a little confusing. What I ended up doing is I just took that amount, divided it by half, which is, my tank holds 33 gallons, and I was pretty much full. So I ended up putting 14 ounces in, I think. Yeah, so I ended up putting 14 ounces in, put that in my tank, shook the bed around real well, and I was actually doing that while I was draining my water fuel separator. So by the time I was done, it took about 20 minutes, and poured some of this in the fuel tank as well. It's just a Winterizer anti-gel, and started my truck up fine, and she ran perfect. Had no issues. Did a lot of driving yesterday, did a lot of driving today. Everything's running just fine. So this stuff works, and I'm sure, you know, there's tons of other things out there, other products. I know there are. You have your EDT, and I think Howes is another one. There's all different kinds. Everybody's going to tell you one's better than the other. But just from my personal experience, these two work great. So during the winter months, I'm definitely going to be running this stuff in my truck. And I'll keep some of this on hand at all times just in case I have that issue. So if you guys are having gelling problems, totally get you some of these and it'll help you out. I just replaced my fuel filters right before winter, and so I didn't pull them out to check them. I mean, if there's freezing in them, this stuff says it fixes the ice. It does tell you to pull your fuel filters out and fill them like halfway, but I didn't do that because when I first turned my fuel water separator, a little blob fell out, and then from that point it was just straight diesel coming out. It wasn't cloudy. It wasn't gelled up, so that's why I don't think necessarily I had diesel gel going on, but I had some water in there that was froze, and that's what was causing my issue in that fuel water separator. So, and I do drain it all the time, which is weird. I must have got a hold of some bad fuel. Only thing I can guess. So yeah, that's what I did. If you guys are having freeze problems, use the stuff. It works. Later.